they do. They smile in your face. All the time they want to take your place. The backstabbers.
Welcome back to Sports Talk with McKinney. This is our final segment of another record-breaking episode. I mean, the FCC is just constantly, trying to figure out how in the world we're getting the ratings we are. And it's just because there's just so much going in the world of sports right now, Mike, and so much that we could talk about, rant about. But this is our segment where we talk about our rants of the week, Mike.
Well, the one thing that's been on my mind, of course, lately, football, basketball starting, but the winter meetings, Major League Baseball winter meetings, have been going on. A lot of players, free agents, signing with new teams, trades being made, but the free agents are the ones that I really want to talk about. And it's not a new concept, but it is still, to me, a bothersome one. I can remember as a kid when Tommy John, right, when you get when surgery to repair a pitcher's arm, Tommy John surgery, that guy, Tommy John, when he became a free agent and left the Dodgers and joined the Yankees, the much-hated Yankees, in my mind, never forgave him, right? It seems the same stuff is going on now. Zach Greinke with the Dodgers going to, not the Giants, but, a division rival. I really feel for the Cardinal fans right now, after losing, one of their better pitchers in John Lackey. And who do they lose him to? Chicago Cubs. If he leaves, fine. But seriously, Chicago Cubs. And then Jason Hayward. In this year of outfielders, he's talented in many, many ways. He's a five-tool player. He doesn't excel at any one of them. But to get a $184 million contract from the Cubs, when he could have signed for more money to stay in St. Louis, or even go to another team that offered him even more than $184 million, I really feel for Cardinal fans. They're really, when John Lackey and Jason Hayward come into Busch Stadium, they might want to bring a police guard with them. But this happens all over baseball. I think baseball is probably the worst about it, even though it happens in other sports too. If you're going to switch teams, you would think that you would have enough loyalty to the team that has just gotten through giving you millions, probably tens of millions of dollars, to where you could maybe not worry about an extra million here or there and not play for your former team's most hated rival. And that is my rant. It is what is on my mind this week, and it really, really irks me, the disloyalty that players show the organizations that have paid them for multiple years.
Well, now, Mike, it does seem, now in professional sports, when you have a big year, it's show me the money, and you skip town when you get that big contract offer. My rant this week is going to go back to the world of professional wrestling. We had the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, on our show a few weeks back. We got to interview him from heaven. And, the American Dream, one of the things he was famous for was for cutting promos. And, cutting promos is something that is so important in building the character of your professional wrestler and to bring the fans in. Currently, the World Wrestling Entertainment has been struggling with record low ratings, and one of the reasons why their ratings are becoming so low is because it's all become scripted. And I'm talking about the promos. Back in the day when you had guys like the Nature Boy Ric Flair, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, or who could ever forget Stone Cold Steve Austin, or the one and only Loose Cannon Brian Pillman, they were who they were, and they connected with the fans because they were able to cut a promo without someone writing them, telling them what to say. And the reason for the decline in the WWE and why their ratings are continuing to fall is they're not allowing wrestlers to be themselves, to make that connection to the fan, where that fan wants to get behind that person. So, if they're wanting to relive some of the glory days from the Attitude Era and times past, you have to let people be themselves, allow them to script their own promos. My concern right now is if you join the WWE, you go through the training center down in Orlando at Full Sail University. Well, when you go to Full Sail University, everyone's learning how to throw the punch the same. Everyone's learning how to cut the promo the same. What that means is all of your performers are performing the exact same. There's no differences between them. You look back in the glory days, a Dusty Rhodes was completely different than a Nature Boy Ric Flair. A Stone Cold Steve Austin was completely different than a Hulk Hogan. They were allowed to be that character. They created that character, and they connected with fans because it wasn't a Hollywood script writer writing a script, telling them what to say. It was them going out, drawing legitimate heat, or getting the fans behind them and getting just white hot because they were allowed to make that connection with the fans. So if they're wanting their product to grow again, and I can tell you I don't watch the WWE anymore because to me it's boring. I would rather watch some of the older stuff back in the 90s when guys were allowed to be themselves. And I understand that WWE is going in a PG era. They're trying to, play towards that, age, 10 to 18 demographic. They've lost that 18 to 35 demographic, and that's why their ratings have fallen so far. But it's not going to change unless they allow writers, the writers allow the wrestlers to be themselves and give them an opportunity to be like a Loose Cannon Brian Pillman. And I encourage anyone, if you want to see a good promo, go back and look up Brian Pillman when he became the Loose Cannon. None of that was scripted. He lived by his promos. He, when he was preparing promos all throughout the week, he was that promo. And then when he did it, that was him. That was his personality coming out. That's why it connects with the fans. But, like you were talking to, Mike, about the loyalty issue, I think it's a sad day in sports. Every time a fan starts to get behind a certain player, just like, I mentioned a pro wrestler, they're getting behind a certain player, and then they leave for the money. That's one of the things with the free agency era that's really changed it, Mike.
Yep, and that's the backstabbing part. You heard the intro. Backstabbers, that's what fans feel like. They feel like they've been stabbed in the back, which, in your rant, it's like the WWE is stabbing themselves in the back. In a sort of different light. But yeah, the disloyalty is really, like I say, irksome to me.
Well, this is the holiday season, and, don't stab anyone in the back. This is the time where make peace with anyone. If you're having any issues with anyone, go ahead and make peace with them. If they're stabbing you in the back, you treat them with love and kindness. And this next week, I'd like to challenge everyone out there, go out and do something nice for someone. We always say that in the show. Do something nice for someone. Maybe, put some money in a Salvation Army kettle. Maybe if you see someone that's needing help with their groceries, help them carry it out. Do something nice that you don't expect something in return, because it seems like karma always comes back to you, and you will get that special treat somehow will come back if you show those good deeds. So I'd encourage everyone to do that. We'll be back next week with a special Christmas edition of Sports Talk is McKimmy. And until then, guys, I hope everyone has a fantastic week, Mike.
Yeah, okay, Dave. And I'd like to take a moment just to remind all the students who might be listening to study for your semester exams. And everybody else out there, you guys enjoy the days that are leading up to the holidays and enjoy the holidays, and make sure that you tune in for what is bound to be a record-breaking podcast on Sports Talk is McHemmie. McHemmie, out.